right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's remove that. Let's talk about some trucking stuff, I guess. We're going to hit the weather first, though. Sorry I'm late, but I was almost not in the mood to do this, but I figured, hey, why not? What else am I going to do? And my internet is being really slow, so I don't even know how this is going to even come out. Like, all the websites are being slow, so I don't know what's going on. StreamYard took a couple of times to load, so who knows. But anyways, please forgive me for my lack of professionalism. I am not a professional YouTuber. I just try to pretend like one when I don't have any work. All right. So anyways, we'll make a couple adjustments here. And we'll get going. It's Monday, January 8th. And a lot of stuff going on weather-wise. So if you're out there driving, especially in Iowa and Kansas, you're going to have a heck of a time for the next couple of days. Oh, there we go. If you guys are paying attention to the other channel, I've been putting up a couple of videos there. So I hope, probably not in your interest. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But anyways. Yeah. Let's take a look at the weather here. Then we'll get to our comments, and then I want to look at a couple of low board stuff. Wow, holy crap. Pretty active situation here. Look at that. There's a lot going on. Oh, man. So, pretty much panhandle of Texas, northeast New Mexico, southeast Colorado, half of Kansas, a little bit of Nebraska. You're under a blizzard warning. Also, you're also in blizzard warnings up here in Oregon and Washington. Then you've got winter weather warning, right? Winter storm warning. Basically going from essentially New Mexico all the way up to Michigan, Wisconsin. So yeah, the southern tip of Wisconsin, northern tip of Illinois, you're going to be in it. All of Iowa's in a winter storm. And like I said, most of Kansas and most of Nebraska. So we're supposed to get a little bit here. Hazardous weather outlook is what we get. So we're on the very edge of the winter weather advisory, the very southern edge of that. Looks like Nevada, Clinton, Missouri, Sedalia, like a little bit more northern Missouri is going to get it more than us. So, but anyways, a lot going on. And then the entire southern from I-20, I-40 down. It's also got a lot of rain. Yeah, wind advisory. So it's going to be windy anything south of 44. So yeah. So every year we throughout January and February we get a big storm that goes through. Usually it's more south than this. But anyways, let's see what's going on in Arizona. Let's see what all this purple is. Hard freeze warning in Arizona, so southern Arizona, but yeah, so essentially, it's gonna suck no matter where you're driving to, unless you're like in North Dakota, you're fine. North Dakota, you don't have any weather, so you'll be okay. North Dakota and southern Florida, you're fine too. So those are the two places you want to be if you want perfect weather driving. Yep. So. I'll leave that up for you guys to see for a minute. I'm not a weatherman. nor do I pretend to be. Since I was a kid, I was always fascinated by weather. I think that comes from my father. My father was a meteorologist for the Marines, and it was his job to make sure that the weather was properly forecasted for missions and all that. And that's what he did in Vietnam. And so when I got to visit his office as a kid there on base, all these satellite photos and everything, and it was pretty cool. And so when we moved to Missouri, the Weather Channel was born, and we had enough money to have cable, because he sold his truck, and we had the Weather Channel, and that thing was on all the time, every morning. And so it's been ingrained. I was watching the weather a little bit this morning, and I saw that, because we're supposed to be getting a little bit of it, but not much. It always changes though. Like Springfield's got this weird dome over it that keeps us from getting hammered usually. And then I-44 is kind of a natural line. You could have 6 inches of snow north of I-44 and literally rain on the other side. Like you can physically see that. And then sometimes the other way around. The snowstorms that come from the south usually are the worst ones. But anyways, so I hope if you're out there driving, be careful. If you have the chain up, I know Sterling just put up a video how he had the chain up. It was a YouTube short, so who knows when it was released, because YouTube shorts don't release on a timely manner. But yeah, the blizzard stuff, especially out there in Kansas where there's nothing blocking that wind, that's just need to park it, I guess. So, but anyways, I don't have any dispatch this week so far. Knock on wood. Not that I don't want dispatch. I do want dispatch. I don't know why I knock on wood, but so I haven't been paying attention to weather as much, but if something pops up, we'll be ready. All right, let's go to the comments here, and then we'll go over some low board stuff. I want to take a look at a few things, and we're going to actually open the DAP board as well. So, Jerome Jones, good morning. Trucking with the MC, yo. MC's talking to JJ. Pigtail, what's up? Good morning. Welcome back, Connor. Happy birthday. Well, you're about a week late, but thank you. Freezing rain in western Missouri this morning. Hope you're not out in it. Truck with MC, not much. How about you? Shannon, good morning. Shannon, I saw that you were live. I stepped in there for a minute. Yesterday morning, I guess. And then Shannon also did a members only live feed. And, yeah, so that was pretty good. Truck with MC delivering in Massachusetts right now. Yeah, what's going on in Massachusetts here? See what this green is. Again, my internet is being stupid. Flood watch. So you're dealing with a lot of rain up there, which is par for the course. Russell Freight Services, good morning. Trucking with T-Bone, good morning, everyone. Jose, what's up? From Lakeland, Florida. That's where my sister lives. Drinking coffee, warm at home this day. Good deal. I mean, it's not good that you're not working because money and all that, but at least if you don't have to work, let it be on a day that weather sucks. That's what I always liked about being a school bus driver. There's only one time I had to drive during inclement weather. That's because the snowstorm hit throughout, in the middle of the day. So I had to get the kids home safely, and that was when I made a really positive impression to the lead people there at the bus barn, and I probably could have accelerated there, like into a management position if I wanted to, but it wasn't paying enough, so I had to become a truck driver. David Edwards, good morning. David Edwards is a new member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Flatbed trucker on my way to New York. From where? If you're coming up from the south, you should be fine. But if you're heading across the Midwest, and truck with MC, snow, LOL. Is it snowing there? Oh. Why is there a flood warning then? Is it all melting? Melting? So. All right. I want to look at something here. Let's look at some DAT load ratios. Desiroki Pam, good morning. Ah, from Kentucky. So if you're coming from Kentucky, not too bad. Not too bad. At least you're not coming from Iowa or western Kansas. At least there's that. So, all right. Move that. Share the screen again. Uh, 601 Dirty Bird, morning all. My first drop in Swedesboro, New Jersey, mid 40s, clear skies, then the Rocky Hill, Connecticut, then Hudson, New York. You got a busy day ahead of you, definitely. Man, if you can maneuver through the Northeast, man, you can make some money up there as an owner operator. A lot of, basically, how do you make money? Do things that no one else wants to do, and a lot of people don't like going Northeast. I had a driver one time turn down. Check this out. I had a driver once turn down an $8,000 load because he didn't want to go to the Northeast. $8,000. For $8,000, I would have done it. All right, so let's see. Volumes look fairly, not too bad. Here, Illinois, 1518 out. In, and 2027 out. So freight's moving pretty good for this time of year. Now, historically, it's usually mid-January before the winter, slowdown really hits. Like Missouri, 733 in, 1293 out. North Carolina, 1194 in, 1037 out. Not great there. Ohio, 1631 in, 2275. This is for van, by the way. This is their hot market, or market map. I wouldn't say hot market, but Oklahoma's pretty even. Pennsylvania is a little bit more coming out than in, but still look at the amount. 1881 coming out. South Carolina's got more out than in. Tennessee is looking good. Texas, not so much. Texas has 4,400 loads going in and 2,680 coming out. So you're going to take a beating coming out of Texas. Because what you have to recognize is a lot of these brokers are using AI. So they're seeing numbers of truck ratios, load to truck ratios in real time, and the AI will kind of price that accordingly, and then the agents are told not to go beyond that, and I've witnessed that, right? So it's kind of like the AI is refining the whole 3 o'clock shuffle in the broker's favor, in the shipper's favor. So just kind of, it's just how it is, right? So, life hello, long time no see, man. Didn't realize you were still subbed to me. Like I don't even think you're trucking anymore, are you? How's it going, man? James G, good morning. Russell Freight, what's up? On my way to North Dakota. Well, there you go. That's the only state not having any bad weather. So, good deal. So let's take a look at loads coming out of Missouri. And let's sort this by highest rate. You get $2.24 to go to Albany, Oregon. $1.90 to go to California, which is fairly high out of Springfield. $2.28. A lot of stuff over $2 a mile right now. But it's all going west. So if you don't do Pacific Northwest, then you're probably not going to care. Looks like but then you got like this Webb City to Wilsonville, Oregon. 42,000 pounds. They're at $1.85. And then you've got St. Charles, Missouri to Albany, Oregon. Jeez. TQL. Of course, who knows what that really is. Or if it's even still available. I mean, you've got TQL does these auto postings that happen throughout the weekend. So again, the only things really breaking $2 a mile are going either Northwest or Florida. Here's one for $3.18 a mile going to Philly. Let's take a look at that one. PLS Hazmat. So on the rare occasion you do see Hazmat, but they're paying $3.18 a mile to go to Philadelphia. But take note, okay? There's 1,322 results, and we sit there and say, well, you need to stay in the Midwest, stay in the Midwest, stay in the Midwest, right? And none of these are going to the Midwest. None of these are going to Ohio. None of these are going to Wisconsin. None of these are going to Michigan, right? None of these are going to Indiana or Illinois. It's all like Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, all the places no one wants to go. The Northeast, right? New Mexico. Here's Springfield to Denver, 2,400, $3.17 a mile. But do you see what I'm saying here? So there's 1,300 loads coming out of Missouri for today, which a lot of them aren't actually for today. Some of them aren't actually for today. I had a driver text me Friday. Friday I had talked about how they were posting different days on when you've got your search narrowed for one day. He sent an email to a broker because he's in Arizona, Yuma, Arizona, Little Rock, Arkansas for Friday. And he goes, no, it picks up on Monday. And it's a 2-stopper. First stop's in Dallas, second stop's in Little Rock. So if he's looking for a load on Friday, the load didn't final out till Thursday because it picked up on Monday in Yuma, delivers in Dallas, Wednesday night, and then delivers Thursday morning in Little Rock. Now, if you're delivering at 2200 in Dallas, and then you got to deliver 8 a.m. in Little Rock, how's that going to work? This is produce, so more likely it was grocery warehouses. So yeah, when you see all these load numbers, a lot of people complain about 123 load boards load volumes. I haven't found a load yet that I would want to do, especially if I'm picky about where I go. Now the Kansas City, Charlotte, that might be something, 208 a mile. But they're paying like $3 to go into Colorado. Why? Well, because of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's volumes there, but it's a lot of stuff that no one wants to do, either because of weather or because they can't contract that out. Load that goes from, like, say, Missouri to California and back, that might be hard to contract out. So it ends up on the spot. Well, that looks fun. Yeah, that looks fun there, Shannon. Truck with MC. You're looking at some stuff. Oh, Dre. Man, I forgot. The profile picture disrupted me. I apologize. Dre is now a supervisor at United States Postal Office. Nice. I'm sure he would get back into trucking at some point. He loves driving. A lot of things have changed since he's been out of the truck. Good morning, brother. Nathaniel, sorry. SST, I see you sneak in here, as usual. And I guarantee you, let's see here. If I open up 123 load board, let's look at Missouri. Numbers are lower, right? But it'll be the same thing. Oh, here we go. Made in Missouri to Lansing, Michigan. That's going to be dog food, $2.42 a mile. That's a good rate. It's going to be about 42 and some change on the weight, which would be good because you're going to be going through some weather. Michigan's not too bad to come out. Here's Bowling Green, Kentucky, out of Kansas City, which, you'd have to be careful because there's weather hitting Kansas City, so the timing of that's important. Tennessee, West Plains to Tennessee. West Plains, that's going to be charcoal. Now, this time of year, there's a charcoal plant in West Plains, Missouri. There's a charcoal plant in Branson, Missouri. And then there's charcoal coming out of Boss and or Rolla, Missouri. And those usually don't start shipping until February to get ready for spring. Well, they're shipping early now. They're going to take advantage of the low rates. Here we go. Salem to Reading, Ohio. How many loads did we scroll? Didn't even find a load going to Ohio. Now, I'm not saying one load board is better than the other. I'm just saying that it's good to have more than one tool. I pay for the DAP board. I also have the 123 load board. And here's another one. Kansas City to Ohio. And this updates in real time there. Lansing, Webb City to Lansing, another one. That's not until the 10th though. So But there's your hot market map for van. And you're going to find that it's about the same as the other low boards. It's just lower numbers because there's not as many brokers post on this low board. Let me show you guys something here. I meant to do this earlier, but I forgot, and I apologize. I'm going to show you guys something. This will kind of give you an idea how I ran. All right. Let's get my email up here. This year, hopefully. There it is. Man, the internet's being slow today. All right, so this was my running area in 2020. This was 21 was my last full year of running, I think. And I want you to see the similarity of the green. See that? There's the green. There was my running area. Notice I never went up to the northeast. Notice I never really went north of Chicagoland in the Wisconsin. Now that was, if I was running today, I would actually add Wisconsin and Iowa more. I didn't really utilize Iowa a lot in the spot market. I'm not really sure why. It wasn't like something I was avoiding or anything. It was just I never found myself going up there, other than a couple of times. As you can see, I ran the hell out of Missouri. As you can see, I-44, I-49, I-35. For some reason, I thought it was a good idea to go down this far south in Texas. And then, as you can see, I never went really below I-10 there in Florida. And then, peppered Arkansas here a little bit, a couple of times in Mississippi. Michigan, yeah, I went up to Michigan. And it's literally, if you take out New York and PA, it's pretty much how I ran. And if it wasn't for privacy reasons, I could show you where all of our trucks are at. It'll mirror a lot of this green that you'll see here, since the majority of our drivers are van. We have one reefer, we have one or two flatbeds. And if you like running long haul, then you're at the mercy of, you can make good money going out west, but then coming back out. So if we go back to the DAT board, right? Let's go back to our load ratio. Let's look at what's coming out of Washington. 534 going in, 204 coming out. So if we look at that 204 coming out, your highest rate is going to Virginia, South Carolina, PA. Nothing really going Midwest again, is there? Tennessee, Texas, of course. Here we go. Salah, Washington. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. To Bluffton, Indiana. Right? Cool. Good load. 42 on the weight. only $3,200 for 2,160 or 54 miles. So at some point, if you like running, oh, here we go. Oh, that's a partial. Now, Global Trans, I've noticed this. Global Trans posts a lot of partials out of the West. $245 a mile, but you're going into Montana. Then what are you going to get out of Montana? Not much. And then you're also dealing with the weather. Again, this is all the, here we go, Tacoma, Washington, Rolla, Missouri. It's a partial. 6,900 pounds. 68 cents a mile. $1.16 if you want to go into California with a full load. So at some point, if you're running long haul, you're going to hit a dead area at one point or another. Either Florida, Washington, Northeast. Here, I'll show you something. Let's go to New Jersey here. $1,090 loads coming out of New Jersey. There's more loads coming out than going in. That's a big number, right? What's that equate to rates? On the long haul stuff, $1.60, $1.87, $1.66, $1.79, $1.45. Here we go, $2.47 a mile going from Newark, New Jersey to Bismarck, North Dakota. Let's take a look at that one. 8,500 pounds, multi-drop lane. That's why. That's why they're so much above. But hey, you know, depending on how long it takes to do those stops, that might be a good load. But then you're coming out of North Dakota, which is a dead area. So I mean, if you run long haul, you're going to hit a dead area. That's just all there is to it. And again, nothing going Midwest. It's all Arizona, Utah, Florida. Here we go. Junction City, Kansas. $2.13 a mile. Flock freight. It's a partial, though. Well, they got a good rate on a partial. So my guess is it might be those U-Haul boxes. Those U-boxes can be pretty good. But then Junction City, Kansas, that's quite a bit of deadhead to get to like Kansas City. That's what you're going to get out of there. Or Wichita. Which, you know, Wichita is usually paper. It's usually cheap. Right? Here we go. Another one. Norman, Oklahoma. $1.70 mile to go to Oklahoma. Out of Newark. Now, your best paying loads. Now, if we sort this by highest rate per mile, it's all going into Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New England, right? That's the way to go, right? But then let's take a look at this one going to Maine. It's mail. They're $1,800 for 509 miles. That's a good rate per day there. Picks up at 1 a.m. today. Well, should have been picked up, I guess. So this might be an old posting, but yeah, 22 hours old. So who knows? But look at this broker though. Let's take a look if they're factorable. Now, DAT's got them at 97 credit score. So we go to Thunder Funding here. Put in their MC number. Denied. Oh, it's not going to show up. Denied. And see, I didn't see. So normally, if I'm looking for a load, I wouldn't even look at that one because number one, I don't recognize the broker. Number two, that's an incredibly high rate for what it is, and that always means something sketchy. Now, DAT's got him at a 97 credit score. Thunder Funding's got him at a 98. However, why are they red? Right? So, I mean, there's more details with Thunder Funding and all that. But so, and the load's 22 hours. So, you know, so these higher volumes, the 1,085 loads, is it really? And this is one of the frustrating things. If you're thinking about coming to the spot market, this is one of the things that you're going to have to deal with. Is you're going to see a lot of loads that, like, this posting is worthless. Absolutely worthless. But all the highest rate per mile, if you want to break $2 a mile, is all going to further north in New England there. Here's one going to Goldsboro for $3 a mile. North Carolina. Olive oil and totes on pallets. Tanker endorsed. Picks up today between 7 and 2. Delivers tomorrow between 11 and 13:30. They're at 1,200 for 400 miles. This is a good load. Seven-digit number on the broker, so let's check the broker. Shall we? Ship Rose Grace. That's the name of the broker. No. Denied. Red. Why are they red? I have no idea. Well, let's take a look. Got it still up here. Lack of history, it looks like. They haven't done much here lately, which is why. So, when there's not much history, a factoring company is not. They can't. They're like, well, we don't know if this person's got a history of paying or not. So you can have a good credit. I mean, they got a good credit score with nothing. They're just denied. And so if I really wanted this load, I would call Thunder and say, hey, why are they red? And then they'll be like, well, you know, this, that, and the other, or they've had trouble paying us, or, you know, all these kind of different things. And so when loads are flying off the shelf super fast, you know, you just don't even want to deal with that. So if they're red, I'm not calling. But your best paying stuff is stuff that's going to either dead areas or it's multi-stop. Right? There's nothing going to Ohio right now. There's nothing going to Missouri. It's all Florida or New England. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Little Ferry, New Jersey to Columbus, Ohio. $1,200. Oh, just canceled. See how fast that went? That load's been covered. Either covered or canceled. My guess is someone canceled last minute and they covered it, but I mean, to get $2.15 a mile out of New Jersey to go to Ohio, there's got to be something with this load because that's not normal. Not in van, anyways. Low board isn't looking too good this morning. I sure don't want to deal with blizzard warnings in the Cascades today. Yeah, you're probably looking to stay home then. I'm looking at trains at the paper mill. A 20-mile long train of all JB Hunt intermodal boxes, right. SSD says, I'm surprised JB Hunt doesn't run their own trains. Well, they kind of do. That they bought a bunch of, I mean, they took over BNSF, so they kind of did. They're literally changing, like Asian Mai did a whole thing about it. They're literally changing the whole landscape of rail. So Tom says, I'm here. You can start over now. Tom, you're screwed. That's where you're at. This is what I was showing everybody earlier. So that's what I was showing off. Mr. Charles, good morning. Good to see you. Still live and kicking. Truck with T-Bone, good morning. Says to Chuck. Good morning, Steve. I'm a replay crew. Cold this week. This morning, -8 Fahrenheit, but feels like 18. Look at CDN putting things in Fahrenheit for us. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, that is cold. Glad I'm not dealing with that. Tom agrees. Will Burner, what's up? Good morning, Steve and chat. Hope everyone is attacking this new year with a positive mindset and are successful. Don't let evil creep in. It only makes it more difficult. This is true. This is true. Sometimes it's hard. Grind and play, good morning. So yeah, DAT's got more volumes. But if you're not an anytime, anywhere type driver, then these volumes mean nothing to you because it's all going to places that you probably won't go to. And you're bound to hit a dead area if you run long haul. Now, so one of the things that you can do is so I take a look at the maps, right? You can do that with DAT, you can do that with 123. Missouri's always green, Wisconsin's always green. So what if I found a back and forth between Wisconsin and Missouri? Like Shannon, she's doing the Amazon stuff, right? But I would be very curious to know what her revenue would be if she just bounced from like Michigan to Missouri and back, or Michigan to Ohio and back. Just run the super short back and forth. Would it be more profitable? Or pick 2 green states and just stay in them? When I was dispatching a reefer truck, you know what I did? We did Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin to Missouri, Northwest Arkansas. I included a little bit of Oklahoma, a little bit of Kansas City area. And we would just go back and forth doing that. There are times when we were doing Ohio to Wisconsin or Wisconsin to Missouri. and then Missouri to Ohio, like a triangle. And that worked. We stayed in a triangle. We were always above, he wanted to stay, he didn't look at rate per day, he was at a rate per mile, and he wanted to stay above a certain number, and that's what we did. So coming up with the triangle, just like what I've displayed here. This was my go-to areas. I pretty much ran this. As you can see, 70's got a whole bunch of spots through here. Because, I ran primarily 70, 55, 57, 44, 49. A couple of 40s in there somewhere. And then some 35s from Oklahoma City to Dallas. I used to utilize the Dallas market quite a bit. Texas dynamics have changed drastically. Like I can't get a foothold on what Texas is doing. And I think a lot of that is there's a lot of dynamics changing with Texas carriers. Doris says it's cold in Mexico. Have you have any flatbed drivers yet? Dispatching? No, I don't. Are we looking at $2 a mile rates for 2024? Yeah, if you want to go to Florida or Oregon or Washington or Colorado. It depends on where you want to go. You'll have to watch the beginning of this video to kind of where I go into that. Correction, when the low board doesn't look good, email your network of brokers, pick up the phone and call. Put 9 in the chat if you built an email networking list of trusted brokers. I'll do that. There you go. That's usually what I do first. It's usually what I do first. And that's with all these brokers using their parade platforms and their own apps and everything, that's what they kind of want you to do. They want you to go to them first before you hit the open DAP board or whatever floats your boat. Now, I haven't checked my email yet, but I know that my stuff out of Georgia was starting to ship again, which made me happy. Tom says for reefers, there's always Wisconsin to Danny doing the cheese haul, and you could see the Snorelord too. Oh, to Missouri. Wisconsin, Missouri. There you go. Welcome back, says he misses Shannon. Well, she's in here somewhere. T-Bone tips, winter driving just went live. I'm sure I missed 1 million tips. Feel free to add to it. There you go. Nasty cold, rainy downpours right now. Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area drivers. Yes. Where's that weather at? Yeah, Texas is going to be messy. It must be 8 o'clock. I'm the only one who put 9 there, CDN. Do you still have you retired yet, Food Mooch? Have you retired yet? I ran into him twice. One was a funny story, and the other one was at a receiver there in Illinois. 6 because I didn't know my dispatcher man But I know my dispatcher man does have his network. Yes, I've heard about your dispatcher. And he's doing everything right. He figured it out. Well, I just realized there's 72 people in here. Thank you. All right. Well, enjoy your retirement, Food Mooch. Tom says, I was going to go home, but weather between Kansas City and there are going to be ugly. Maybe I'll head south. I would take 20 and probably hit some of them high rates going into Georgia and then come out of there. That's what I would do. Or maybe head up to Arkansas, Little Rock area. But still, you're gonna have to take the southern route, go through Dallas to get up to Arkansas. I wouldn't go on 40 at all. Pale Rider, what's up? Thank you. You're welcome, Food Mooch. You're welcome. Shannon says, yeah, I've been trying to nail a triangle since I started on Spot. Yeah, it's been difficult, right? But again, it could be done. But my needs are different than what Shannon needs, right? I didn't stress about my cost as much as she does, or she has to. So there's that. So it's like I said, a lot of people will stay in the Midwest, stay in the Midwest. Well, sometimes that's not easy to do. As you can see, I had to stray from the Midwest. You know, if there was a good paying load, like one time I did a load, $4,200, go from Springfield to Jacksonville, Florida. That was a good load. It was easy. It was like 10,000 pounds. Like, man, it was like winning the lottery. And then out of Jacksonville, I deadheaded up Savannah, got a good paying load up to Arkansas, and then did okay. And then one time I went down to Florida for practically $4 a mile. I grabbed a shorty out of Tallahassee to go to Mobile, Alabama for a good rate. And then out of Mobile, I grabbed furniture and went to Oklahoma City for a good rate. And then Oklahoma City, I ended up deadheading home because, well, I was dumb. I was new to the spot market. And I probably could have grabbed something, but I just ended up deadheading home. But at the end of the week, it was a fairly decent week. So, and you know, and every year, a lot of people post these pictures on Facebook, you know, and a lot of my driver friends are about the same. You know, the ones that run the spot market. They might flirt with the Northeast a little bit more than I did. But let's take a look at Reefer. Doris says, hit the like button. Thank you. Shannon, you can start a triangle here in Joliet. Grind and pray. Sorry. Saying hi to Shannon. Now, Texas is green. Let's take a look at that for Reefer. $1.30 a mile to go from Carrollton, Texas to Newberry, South Carolina. Cost per day reached? No. Yeah, that's a crappy load. All right, let's take a look at this Amarillo to Columbus. Now, this is like, okay, let's see what. Notice they didn't put a rate on this. Picks up at noon today. Cargo Chiefs got it at $28.40, $2.42 a mile. Going to Columbus, Ohio, so great spot to land. However, there's this. Look at all that. So, that's why they didn't post a rate. Because you need to, if you're going to try to attempt this load, which I wouldn't, unless you're sitting in Amarillo right now and can get out of there, if it hasn't hit yet, you need to price accordingly. Make it hurt, because it's going to hurt. But just know that you could be shut down. If this is produce, that's probably not a good thing. Doesn't have the product. Just has an extension and a reference number. $2.37 a mile to go from Far, Texas to Brooklyn, New York. Now, if you lived in Brooklyn, this might be okay. But then let's take a look at the tolls. Picks up at noon today. Delivers Thursday, 12 p.m. $165 in tolls. I figured that'd be a little bit higher. I got a couple of those. Here's $3.39 a mile to go to Troy, Michigan. Let's take a look at this one. Cargo Chief's got it at 46. Rate Check's got it at 39. They're at 58. So there's got to be a multiple stop situation here. That's what this is, or hazmat. Hazmat, climate controlled hazardous materials is money, and normally you don't see that on the low boards too much. That is an exceptional rate, so I would do that. But the stops and the time that it would take, you gotta take that in consideration. It looks like they got a couple of these. Doris says, check out of Brownsville, Texas to New York City. For van or reefer? It's those high winds out that way that's going to be a problem today, plus all the snow. Yeah. We are supposed to get a bunch of freezing rain and snow in Ohio soon. And you being a new CDL holder, you're heading into your first winter. So, Wheelburner says, I've been gone for a few minutes. I had to cross the border into New York. Haha, they let the sneaky Canadian snow back into the country again. Shannon kind of was late to grab the short stuff for smaller triangle. I think a lot of that stuff got put under contracts for less money when rates were high. I know a few that did that. I lost a lot of my short haul stuff here in Missouri when fuel went up. And also the combination of, I was running $1,000 a day just staying in Missouri and Arkansas and Kansas. And, and there's a lot of carriers here out of Springfield that probably grabbed a lot of that. I know that Wilson grabbed a lot of the stuff I was running. They went out and bought a bunch of them, sell it on trailers, and dropped them over here at Craft. And next thing you know, I didn't have any more Craft loads to do. And then JB Hunt was grabbing a lot of the loads out of Arkansas going up to Sedalia. So, but yeah. So I mean that's the thing, Wilmer Dar, congratulations on your new 3 kittens. Dar doesn't watch this channel. She watches my other channel. Weather's supposed to hit tonight. Yep. Reefer. Okay. Let's take a look at Reefer here. All right. Create new search. Brownsville, Texas. We'll do Brooklyn. Reefer for, let's do today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. Search. There you go, far to Brooklyn. See, that's 47 miles from Brownsville. Is that right? Now, this is logistics dynamics. You notice that they're doing the whole TQL, different city thing. McAllen, far, which is only 3 miles apart from each other. Multiple postings. You got Mission, Texas to Brooklyn. Mission, Texas to Elizabeth, New Jersey. Not much. Not much on the 123 low board, but yeah, we're getting that far to basically that area. Triple T's got far to Monroe. Who's the shipper there in far? If you know that area, obviously there's a shipper down there. Welcome back. Is there something I've only been away from the house for one day that I better not get back and find 3 more cats. Mo, good morning. Steve here in Elwood, Indiana, getting unloaded, then heading to Byesville, Ohio. Good deal. Kittens and chickens. Congrats, Wilbur. Can check out Flatbed loads out in the Northwest, Oregon, Washington. I'm wondering about the 123 low board for Flatbed in the West. Thanks. Yeah, we could do that. Go back to load availability. Let's look at Flatbed here. Now, I do know that the upper Northwest, Pacific Northwest, took a dump. It was looking really good coming out of there for Flatbed. But as you can see, holy moly. Look at all that red, dude. It is this time of year, though. Not much coming out. You're looking at $1.60 to go into Illinois, $1.70. Load to Albuquerque, which I wouldn't do. If you go to Albuquerque, you're more likely deadheading to El Paso, and then of course the weather. You got to worry about that right now. Here's 206. Your best rate is going to go into California. Your best rates are going to go to California or New Mexico. Here's one going to Idaho, $1,000 for 325 miles. 68,000 pounds. I believe that's going to be oversized. Even though they didn't list it that way. So, not much. Oh, here we go. Yuma, Kent, Washington to Yuma. But then coming out of Yuma, what are you going to get? Not much. Picks up at noon tomorrow. Let's see, when you scroll down here, there's 0 loads. There's 6 coming out of Arizona. The whole state of Arizona going anywhere. So that's why they're paying to go in there. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I know in Van and Reefer, the move is to go from California up to the Northwest, and then, basically run up and down I-5, take your backhaul hits. But then you're dealing with more severe weather, higher fuel prices, and more weight, more mountains. How do I calculate how many miles to the gallon? Moet, you take your total miles ran and divide it by how many gallons of fuel you put in. And your truck should be doing that with you, right? There should be a fuel mileage. I mean, unless you're driving an old 99 Freightliner or something like that, you should be able to, the truck should be telling you. Now, in the Kenworth, they had trip odometers like A, B, C, and D. And so a lot of guys would do the trip odometer for fuel mileage for each trip, and then like one for all time, one for each trip, and one for the month, and all that. And then if you're, which I think you're still a company driver, but when you're an owner operator, you're going to pay IFTA, and your IFTA will kind of give you that number as well. So when you price a load, here's what you're going to do. So I estimate everything at 6 miles per gallon. So you take the average price of fuel of the areas that you're running, because again, if you're running I-5, your average price of fuel is going to be different than if you're running Missouri, Wisconsin, and back. Why? Because Missouri and Wisconsin have the cheapest fuel in the country usually. And then also depends on your fuel discounts and all that. But, the baseline is 6 miles per gallon, because if you got a good fuel efficient truck with a heavy load, 6 is a good guess. Anything beyond that is going to be a bonus. So if the average price of fuel is $4 a gallon, and you have a load that's 100 miles, 6 miles a gallon, that's kind of, and you want to have more fuel than you're going to burn. That last 20 in the fuel tank's no good to you. It beats those injectors. There's the code, 48065. Thank you, Tennessee. Pale says we have a wind advisory here in Arkansas today and tomorrow. Be careful if you're trucked through Arkansas. Yes. Yeah, we were looking at that earlier. So, yeah, all of Arkansas is under a wind advisory. Same thing with like this whole area. It just sucks. Again, unless you're going to North Dakota, you're gonna, like, you're in North Dakota and you're just gonna travel around the state. You'll be fine. And then Ohio is not too bad right now. But Doug Lee, thank you very much. Appreciate that. You're welcome. Look, you can have, like I said earlier, people can tell you, stay in the Midwest, right? Blah, 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 right? Okay, that's a given. Regardless of your platform, here, like I said, here's Flatbed. Here's Reefer. Reefer's a little bit more peppered, but you got, in the springtime, you're going to have produce coming out of California, Arizona, and Texas. That's primarily what that is produce coming out of Mexico. Then you have the upper Midwest, but then when you look at van, same thing, not much different. right? Now, as company drivers, I know that there are companies that pay less per mile if you're running out west. Why? Because number one, they're making less money, and number two, because it's easier driving. There was a couple of companies I was looking at that did that. Like, oh, if you run west of I-35, you get 40 cents a mile. But if you run east of I-35, you get from 35 to 77, you got 42 cents a mile. And if you ran the Northeast, you got 45 cents a mile. Like, man, how do you keep track of all that? But for the most part, you know, think about this. Let's go back to the DAT board real quick. There's 1,085 loads coming out of New Jersey today in van. Look at all that. And you got to sort through that every single day. You know, how many we brought up two brokers, and they were red with our factoring company. And then before I could check the third one, the load was gone. And then a lot of these brokers also still have their own platform, so those loads are going there first. Like Spot Freight. I think I saw Spot Freight on here. Yeah, Spot Freight. See, and there's the website right there. So let's do that real quick. I'll get the screen up here in a minute. Internet's still being slow. I'm surprised I don't have a bad signal here on the StreamYards. All right. My coffee got cold. Dang it. Let's hide that. All right. So there's all your loads. So you go to low board. This is Spot Freight. The brokerage spot. And so what was that 1, 2, 3 low, or what was that DAT? I think it was New Jersey going to Virginia. So let's zoom in here. Click on that. And there's your rates. There they got Middlesex, New Jersey, going to Trenton, South Carolina, 1401. I like how they're putting odd numbers here. Picks up today between 10 and 3. Delivers tomorrow at 1300. $784 loaded miles. How's that going to work? So again, that load's useless. because either someone's not paying attention to the transit time, or because to do 784 miles down 95, come on now, and still get loaded. Even if you show up if you showed up at 10 today, yeah, that's doable. But let's say your driver can't get there till 3 o'clock today. You can't do it. And that's what's annoying, right? And so this all takes time to go to these individual carriers' load boards. And you still deal with the same stuff. So that's what you're signing up for when you enter the spot market. And so it's just easier to have a network of brokers like what CDN says and go through that. Like Chucky was talking about. You think his dispatcher is on DAT going, well, there's this load. No, he's got 100 trucks he's got to keep moving to get to the contract stuff that they got. Right? So what does he do? He calls a couple of people and say, hey, keep my trucks loaded. Boom and boom. Done. CDN says 2024 strategy. Pick your favorite lane and run it. You'll get to know your exact fuel burn and cost. Take the freight available in that lane. Know the players. In 3 to 4 months, you'll be setting the rates. Sitting at home today because load rates seem low is just giving up revenue when we were down to 40 weeks left to earn revenue. Big picture, folks. Right. Does 1, 2, 3 show intermodal loads? Actually, it does. Let's take a look at that. Marty. There you go, container. Not much in container. Of course, they're by the port. So let's take a look at South Carolina. 2 loads. Illinois. There's not much intermodal on here. But there is intermodal. 2 loads out of Illinois. So. There's 2 in South Dakota, 2 in Wisconsin, 2 in South Carolina, 4 in Maryland, 23 in New Jersey. So obviously Newark's going to be your spot for intermodal coming out of New Jersey if you want to run nothing but the 1, 2, 3 low board. But more than likely, if you're intermodal, you're not running off a low board. So, but it's there. It's there if you want it. So I'm going to end this video. Numbers went way down, so either someone else went live or everybody got bored of me. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. I hope you guys have a good, profitable, or safe week. Safety first. So I hope if you're driving in any of this weather stuff that I showed you, I hope you do okay. Be safe. Take your time. It's not worth it. There's not one load on any of these load boards that's worth losing your life and liberty over. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. If you want to try out the load board for yourself, 48065 is for the 1, 2, 3 load board. I imagine some of you are probably doing some year-end number stuff. Truckin' Pro SA10 is my code. If you want to try that, you get I think $10 off. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I promoted that, but it's the end of the year. You should have gotten your numbers all together. If you have a system in place, so you know exactly where you stood last year. But I imagine a lot of you don't do that. So it's just kind of the nature of the beast. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns to screws. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Wednesday. Peace.